Yo. All right, we got audio. All right, I'm just doing a small update because ultimately I'm going to do an official video once we have a GoFundMe and everything set up. But so far, this is what's going on. So I messed up his name. I had a false name. I did not know that, but it kind of makes sense because, like, most gun people, they're real secretive, so they'll, like, use false names and crap all the time. His real name is actually the title of this video, how it's spelled and everything. I believe his birth date was 1980, but I'll have to double check on that because I had the wrong birth date as well. I also found out that the first information I got, his family did not get arrested, but for whatever reason, they made it so they're not supposed to talk to each other. Therefore, give him aid. And they seized all of his assets. So basically, it appears that what they're trying to do is force him into taking a plea bargain so they can win this case, which makes sense. But the ATF did actually put out something official on their website finally. So yes, he did get arrested for the cards. Hopefully this is the only thing he got arrested for, because if they found other laws, then it's a question if he can win it or not. Right now, with this, if the only thing they got him for was Article 26, which is basically any combination of parts with the intent to make a machine gun automatically makes them a machine gun. That's not the exact words they use. I'm just paraphrasing. Get your notifications that you are going live. So anyway, because then they have to go into court and try to argue that a drawing of an auto sear is in fact a auto sear. If you aren't familiar with the auto key card, what it is was a little business card, and it had etched into it a drawing of a lightning link. The whole idea was it supposed to be a conversation piece? This way, in the future or whatever, we could be like, once upon a time, we used to be able to cut this out legally. Now we can't. That's how bad gun laws got, and it's supposed to get the whole gun conversation going. Now, his case is insanely important. We definitely need to support him any way we can, because if, say, for example, he loses this case, things like this would be illegal in California. Yeah, we all know this is a bottle opener. That's a given. However, because this is close enough to a 50 cal, if he loses his case, this would in fact become a 50 cal. Same with like your mortar shells, those piggy bank ones, the paperweight hand grenades. Those are close enough to a hand grenade, even farther closer than the lightning link. Those would now be NFA items, issuing you a felony. I just got a bottle opener in the mail 3 to 4 weeks ago. If you guys have any questions in the comments, ask. Again, I'm just doing a quick live stream of this because once he's got up a GoFundMe and everything's going through and lawyers are involved, then we will do a fundraiser for him and help him win this because he absolutely can't lose it. How are you doing, man? No, it's not my bottle opener. It's a custom. And regardless what you think of, like, things of like the auto key card, they're a shield. They're a shield against like getting semi-autos banned. More stuff like that's out there diverts the ATF's resources and attention in other directions, so they have less time to try to figure out how to ban the semi-auto. So that's why I was definitely on board with it. Well, the ATF is stupid. Your dog makes me cringe. Thanks for keeping us informed. Hi, CRS. How are you doing? What about live grenades? Are they going to be NFA items? Live grenades? Well, yeah, a live grenade is an NFA item. You got to have your explosive license, and then you can get the grenade. Then don't quote me on this because I don't have my explosive license yet, but I don't think you can actually just buy a grenade. You might be able to with like a tax stamp, but I don't know exactly how that works. Thank you for the information. It's not a link. It's a cigarette holder for golf. Well, that's exactly it. They're trying to cross the line because it looks close enough to an NFA item, it is in fact an NFA item without the intent to manufacture. Before, you had to have the intent to manufacture. So that can change a lot of things too, especially for all your pre-86 machine gun holders. If they're able to push this through, well, then all the repair parts you would need to repair your machine guns would also now become NFA items by default. Therefore, all your pre-86 machine guns, when they break, they're broken. You won't be able to get replacement parts unless you can cut those out yourself. Hey there, it's OnlyFans. Can you still buy auto key cards? Yeah, from what I understand, auto key cards, you can still purchase them, but you're purchasing them from the feds. So they'll just seize your money, seize your item, and send you a letter that, hey, we taken your items as contraband. Or they'll be like, now that we have an official announcement out on our website, because before they didn't have an announcement, but now that it's out there, you knowingly bought machine gun parts. Well, that's another thing. So if the auto key card, and they win this case, and it turns out that the auto key card is actually a lightning link, even though it's just a drawing of a lightning link, I don't know how far they'd push it, because while your 37 millimeter grenade launcher, that's pretty close to a 40 millimeter. They look really similar. So is that now a 40 millimeter grenade launcher? You just don't know. I should have caught on to this a long time ago when they went after Troy for the fake third pinhole, because that's not a third pinhole. But they said, well, that's dimpling. That's instructions how to make a third pin. Therefore, they're encouraging the end user to buy it. It's a mess. But what's really weird, too, is the difference. So when they went after the T-36, when they went after Troy Industries, oh my God, they've went after Polymer 80. They didn't go in there and arrest people and seize all assets. I wonder why they're treating him different. What's up with the double standard? If you already had an auto key card, as far as I know, there was never an official ruling on it. And since the form of the ATF novelties have never been an issue, like this is a novelty, what it means is it looks really close to the original thing, but it's not. You would have to pull this bullet off and put it on a live 50 cal for this to actually be a 50 cal. So they consider it a novelty. Same with like the auto key card. That is not a lightning link. You could never put it in your firearm. It will never fit in your firearm. But, you know, if you want to, you could truly cut that out and make it a lightning link. Where the hell is I going with that? Oh, so before the ATF did their official announcement, I would call it common knowledge that that isn't illegal. But now that they actually have an announcement out there, it is now illegal. So at the time when you purchased it, it shouldn't be a problem to like where they could arrest you. What they'll probably do is send you a cease and desist order. You must destroy all your stuff. It's a question if that'll come through the mail or if they'll show up in person, because that's how they handled like solvent traps and the portable wall hanger. They'd either just mail the person a letter, hey, we know you've ordered this, throw it away, or they'd show up in person and try to get the person denying ordering it so they can get them for obstruction to justice. Full tail bolt carriers and no shelf lowers are next. It's hard to tell. Honestly, it seems like they're going more after information, like 3D printing and stuff like that. Like, I know everybody freaks out at me. They're never going to, you can't stop the signal, but it don't matter. There's a digital footprint. I understand you can do things to minimize your digital footprint, but say you've ever, because it's a picture, the lightning link, just a drawing. So why are not, that's not a far reach from saying that, okay, those schematics or whatever you got online are the actual real thing. So therefore you got a receiver from a second party who did not have an FFL. So all your 3D printed stuff is now illegal by extension. We'll have to see where they go with it, but it does kind of feel like a build-up to that. The boys with Signal got an entire ATF long shit list. Is buying a tax stamp for a suppressor a bad idea? Well, it's weird because let's say because you can still get solvent traps. They're still out there. It's just a question if it'll get intercepted or not. You can go on to Walmart.com and order one from them. But if you were to say you got your solvent trap and the ATF shows up and you're like, well, I plan on making that a silencer. Well, because the intent to make that a silencer is there, those are silencer parts. Because once you attach a tent to it, then it's a silencer part. So if they just took it and you're like, no, that's a solvent trap, that's what I planned on using it for, then no, you didn't break any laws. But if they show up and you're like, oh, I plan on turning that into a silencer legally, obviously, with my tax stamp and everything, well, then that would be silencer parts. You ordered silencer parts. You broke the law. Same with like the lightning link, or the auto key card. Let's pretend they show up at your house and they're like, okay, we know you ordered it, so give it to us now, and you don't lie about that. And you hand it over to them, and they're like, well, why'd you order this? If you were to say something like, well, I have it so if the end of the world ever happened, I could, make a machine gun. Well, that's intent to make a machine gun, therefore that is a machine gun part. Because that's usually the determining factor. Is there or is there not intent to make a machine gun, silencer, NFA item, destructive device? If the intent is there, even if it's a hypothetical situation that'll never happen, because that intent is there, that makes those a machine gun, a silencer, a destructive device. So, a recap, if you haven't seen my videos before, should the police show up with a cease and desist letter, do not lie about buying it because they already know. That's why they're there. Ask them, am I being detained? If they say no, then I do not feel comfortable answering questions without legal counsel. That should be the end of it. If they want the material, if you have it, give it to them. If you don't have it, I don't have it anymore. Don't talk yourself into going to jail. That's where a lot of people screw up. They start answering questions they shouldn't answer. They ultimately say something, whatever it is, because that's the whole reason they're talking to you. Remember, if they can arrest you, they're going to arrest you regardless what you say. So you're better off just closing your mouth. I found my clothes, no hangers. It's a drawing of a lightning link. It was impressed. Two different things. Yeah, they decided that a drawing of an NFA item is in fact an NFA item. Which, if they... See, that's what really bothers me too, because you think they would have went there and been like, hey, you can't do this product, it's too close to the real thing, or for whatever reason, and I'm willing to bet who'd have been like, oh, okay, how can I change this to make this okay? And then it would have went on from there, like they do with every other firearms manufacturer. But instead, I think that they were like, okay, he's a smaller guy, he don't have a huge financial backing, he probably doesn't have a lawyer on retainer, so let's go get him, seize all of his assets, and if we can push this case through, it'll set precedents to where we can push like this being illegal in California, or a fake hand grenade being illegal, or something like that. So I think that's the whole point behind it. Because with Troy and everything, I don't think anyone got arrested. Same with the T-36. From what I understand, Tommy Built didn't get arrested. They didn't seize his assets. They didn't shut him down. They were like, hey, this receiver is a machine gun. Therefore, you need to change it. So then he made a new design, sent it in. They were like, okay, this is kosher now. Continue to as you were. I don't understand why the double standard. Why did they go and arrest him? Why didn't they just be like, hey, this product, you can't do this anymore. It's too close to the real thing, or this is the reason why, or you have to change this for it to be legal. Change your design. Stop selling everything you have. All your old products got to be destroyed. Offer an exchange for your customers or a full refund, whatever you got to do, but tell your customers to turn them into you, give them new ones, and move on. Why did they arrest him? You're trying to apply logic from those government agents. That will never happen. You can't beat the rap. You can beat the ride. Come on, people, smash that like button. My ex uses snails. Why do they put comment sections, comments before you can open it in a live stream? Hey, Matt, what's up? ATF seized the website, but they can still be bought there. Yeah, they seized everything. Again, I don't know any information yet. I got to wait to talk to him directly. It'll happen like through his lawyer or something, but I'm still ironing those bugs out. But what I assume happened, and what I understand what happened so far, is sometime Tuesday night, Feds kicked in his door, seized everything, locked all his bank accounts, even property he's bought, they seized that as well. Everything, all of his assets were completely seized. They took his computer. They took control of the website. Now, they might have actually taken control of it sooner. This is hearsay, so don't call this fact. But when I sent a private investigator to look into it, he said the website had switched ownership on the 20th. So I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Congratulations. Oh, thank you, man. You should be way more this year, 500K by Christmas. I don't think I'll get to 500K. If they made the auto key cards out of polymer instead, do you think? And if the ATF would have been like, hey, because this is made out of metal and it's a drawing of an auto lightning link, that's not legal. But if you make it out of plastic or something like that, it would be legal. You think that would have been fine? Again, I don't understand why they arrested him. Why didn't they just be like, hey, this design, blah, 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 change it? I have wire coat hangers. Congratulations on the 100,000. Hello, friend. Gun Planet Boogaloo. Funny no key cards, but can you order an Anarchy cookbook on Amazon? Well, that's exactly it. If they call it a blueprint or an impression, they're making the information itself illegal. So that would be like watching Mr. Guns and Gears video where he makes a machine gun. That information going to you would be illegal. They're trying to censor the information. I mean, I kind of seen it coming because I knew they were coming after 3D printing. But I just didn't think it would happen this fast. I thought their information grab would have happened a little bit slower. But yeah, so like unconventional warfare books and stuff like that, that would fall under the same thing of information. So now are they illegal? I have no idea. Have you seen the rare breed trigger? Oh, yeah, I did see the rare breed trigger. Will that become illegal? I don't know, because from what I understand, they don't have an approval themselves. But a company that they basically stole the idea from does have an approval. I don't know if their patent ran out, so then they did the same exact thing. Because there was another company that came out in like 2013. You can still buy their stuff. It's far cheaper. It's the same exact design as the rare breed trigger. So I'm assuming that they either changed the patent slightly or just straight up stole the idea, or their patent ran out or something happened. But it looks identical to the rare breed trigger, functions exactly the same. They did get an approval. Now, however, back about the same time they got their approval, the bump stock also got the approval. And we all know what happened to the bump stock. Probably all your binary triggers in that, they will ultimately become illegal quickly. Now, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't see into the future. For all I know, that will stay totally legal. But even if the ATF don't attack it, it's only going to take one news station to start making a big deal about this. And with the current administration and stuff, it will ultimately become illegal. So what should you do? Man, I don't know. I'm putting on my CrossFit 37. Do you know what happened to the portable wall hanger guy? No, I haven't been able to find anything out on the portable wall hanger guy. If anybody's got some good information, send me a link. I know when I first heard about him, I was going to promote his GoFundMe because he's also very important. He cannot burn for that case. He's got to win that case. I'm praying he doesn't plea bargain out. Same with the auto key card guy. I'm praying he doesn't plea bargain out because that will set a precedence. Like, that will change everything because then you don't have to have an illegal item. It's just got to look like an illegal item. So therefore, by default, it is in fact an illegal item because you still needed to modify the portable wall hanger. Yes, it was one screw. And yes, that would probably fall under easily convertible. But if he does win his case, that would be pretty awesome. Now, the auto key card guy, no, that's not easily convertible. You're still making the whole thing from scratch. There's just lines that if you so choose to follow, you could. I'm the guy that interviewed by the ATF. I'm the guy that got interviewed by the ATF. I'm good, though, watching your live stream. Oh, just sorry about that. One of my viewers, I don't know if his was a solvent trap or a portable wall hanger, but he had bought one and the ATF showed up. So why do people keep calling me? So people showed up and, yeah, they just confiscated his stuff. He didn't go to jail or anything. Shall not be infringed. Oh, I totally agree. It was the portable wall hanger he had purchased. And the ATF had showed up, and I believe they gave him a cease and desist. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then they confiscated his stuff. No charges. Nothing happened. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Auto key card situation is like me getting arrested for having a pic of a Mini 14 with a shortening the key ring. Yeah, that's pretty crazy because it's not actually something illegal. You have to manufacture it into something illegal, which makes it not his problem. Now that's your problem. That's something you did. You did that on your own. I don't understand how they can hold the company responsible for something people do. Anywho, do you guys have any questions? As always, this is about wrapped up, and then I'll wind up doing another video back when it's fundraiser time. But I can keep going on the live if you have any questions. I got till almost an hour. We need more everything guns. Is anyone really stupid that the ATF shows our rights? Give a real quick recap for those who just came in. All right, so for those who just came in, there was a product. It looks similar to this, but it was made out of metal. And inside the metal, there was an etched-in design. That etched-in design was a lightning link. Now, way back when, somebody else had tried doing the same thing, but they had the design completely cut out, but there was a little piece of metal holding in it was like two different spots. And you took your thumb and you popped it out. And the ATF's like, well, hey, that's easily convertible to a lightning link. You can't have that. That guy plea bargained out. He wound up never fighting the case. So then he made something called an auto key card, and that was just an impression on a piece of stainless steel in the shape of a lightning link. Well, last Tuesday, at some point, basically a week ago, yeah, it was a week ago, but not quite because it's still a couple hours short, the FBI showed up at his house, froze all of his assets, took everything from him, and hauled him off to jail. Instead of being like, hey, this design isn't cool, you need to collect all the ones you gave out and change the design, if you want to do it this way, that would be cool. No, they arrested him because they need this case to go through because it'll set precedents for other things like this actually being a 50 cal shell, which would be illegal in California, but it's not because it's a novelty because that etch is in there. But however, it looks close enough to a 50 cal, just like the auto key card looked close enough to a lightning link, where by extension, this would become a 50 cal. So anyway, I did a video, warned everybody about it, stay the hell off the website. The ATF probably has control over it. Unfortunately, I can't see anything yet. I put somebody on it to try to look into it. The indictment's sealed. I can't find an arrest record. Nothing. And I just warned people about that. Now we're doing the live stream because, yes, it is officially published on the ATF website now that he did, in fact, go down for that because I just knew he was arrested. I had no idea what it was for. It could have been like trafficking dope or something like that. But the most easiest answer was it was for his company. And it turns out, yes, it was for his company. And now I don't know if that was the only charge he got was a violation of Article 26 or if he had other violations or something like that that he's charged with. But I want to do a live stream update because, one, I had a false name. His real name is the title of the video, and it's right there on the board. Two, his full family did not get arrested, but they did something to where they're not supposed to talk to each other. I don't know. That's all hearsay. Three, I haven't actually seen his charges yet, which I'm telling you about. And four, we absolutely need to fight for him because he can't lose this case because it'll set precedents that'll dig deep into 3D printing, novelties, a whole bunch of other crap. And we will do a fundraiser for him as soon as I actually see his charges. Once I know 100% beyond all reasonable doubt, the only thing they charged him for was a violation of Article 26 for his company, then yes, we'll have a lawyer set up a GoFundMe or something like that. We'll get him some resources so he can try to fight this and win. Because if he does fight it and win, well, then we'll be back to where we were like a couple of years ago with like fake auto sear pinholes and that because it would, by extension, go into those, and novelties will still be legal. There is no court order to get bail. I don't know what's up with bail. Again, I'm very, very, very limited on the information I actually know. I just got trickled in a little bit of info. Hey, this happened. That's about all I know. Okay, well, who are the two jackoffs that gave it a thumbs down? Oh, probably somebody that was like the whole play stupid games, win stupid prizes thing, because there's a whole bunch of people that follow that, and they think that if they're good little gun owners, the ATF will just leave them alone and they'll never have to worry about anything. And they just keep restricting what they own. So, like, okay, I can only own a 16-inch barrel. Now I can't have a detachable magazine. And they just keep complying to these laws. And they're convinced that if they don't do anything risky, the ATF will leave them alone and they can just live happy lives and their semi-automatics will never get banned. Even if they get banned, they got a double-barrel shotgun because those will never get banned. Sue the ATF for suppressor Form 1. ATF's garbage. Hope they win. Yeah, I really hope they win too. If that's all they got on him, they have to improve intent. Well, now this is what a lawyer told me. I don't know if that's the angle they're going to go. But they would have to prove intent that he was giving those to his customers for them to cut out. Again, that's what a lawyer told me they would most likely try to go through. But I don't know. Could they prove intent? His website's pretty airtight. It's still up. Go to terms and services. I should probably actually screenshot that shit before they take it down. 1 second. But his terms and services are solid. There is no way you could construct a lightning link out of his product without violating his terms of service. I hope the website ain't down yet. Visit. Okay, the website's still up. I'm going to screenshot all the terms and services real quick. Sorry about that, guys. I don't want the website to go down before I get an opportunity. Can't believe I didn't screenshot this shit before. What the hell was I thinking? Dude, this thing is pages long. Sorry, I'll get right back to your chat in just a second. My God, where's the end? Yeah, it's kind of crazy they didn't already take this down yet. All right, back to the chat. We were all on a watch list before this. Oh, yeah, just owning a firearm, you're on a watch list. You already have a target on your back. Yeah, you could do little things that'll make your target slightly bigger, but no matter what, if you own a firearm, there's a target on your back. You're better off accepting that because it'll help you deal with life a little bit better. Did he have an SOT? No, because he was not trying to do anything at all with firearms. Because this was a novelty, because like you don't need an SOT or a manufacturing license to make this. Because you're not actually making any sort of weapon. There's nothing firearm related with that. That is a beer opener. That is what it's classified as. This is not a 50 caliber shell. Therefore, you do not need a manufacturing license or an SOT to manufacture this. Same with like those hand grenade paperweights. Again, the mortar shell piggy banks. Those are not actual NFA items. Therefore, you do not need to be licensed to produce them. Whatever happened to the wall hanger guy? I don't know. If anybody can find out, email me what happened to him. I would really like to know where the wall hanger guy went, if he pled out, or what exactly happened. What's your opinion on 80% auto sears? What's your opinion on Glock auto sears? Glock 80% auto sears. I don't actually know what a 80% Glock auto sear is. Buy a case of ammo in Norway. Yeah, in New Jersey. It's recognized as really. This is actually recognized as a 50 caliber projectile or 50 caliber cartridge in New Jersey. That's insane. Oh, check it out. My girl got this for me too. She got me a bunch of badass cups as well. Auto sears on Glocks are stupid. Yes, they play stupid games. Guys are 128, 600 on a Tuesday. Oh, this is a very popular topic. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen with the auto key card because, again, a lot of people don't understand how important that is to everything else. If he goes down, just about everything is up for grabs. 3D printing, novelties, everything. He absolutely needs to win his case. I mean, if he wants to plea out, it's his life, his choice. I get it. But I would really, really like to see him take this shit to trial and win. He has to. There's so much that is riding on him winning. Super Chat! What? Change the law to break them. Yeah, since people don't break laws anymore, we'll just change the laws to break them. Opinion on 80% auto series for ARs. You can still get those. I mean, right now, I don't know how long that's going to last because that's far easier to do than a lightning link. So I don't know. I don't know if that... I'm assuming it's going to be a house of cards. Since they started with the fake third pin, everything is just crumbling down. And ultimately, yeah, like even the actual M16 parts on Brownells, I suspect that's got a very limited lifespan. Website. Oh, keycard website is a trap now. With full auto sears, he's not going to win the fact he had some cards with a section cutout. Chosen 10. It's hard to say. I don't think that section will make a difference in the case because they still have to prove that he had intent for people to cut him out. So I would assume the prosecutor would have a little bit more put together than just a little square cutout. Because remember, they got to convince a jury. And when Daniel Kelly's arguing against the ATF saying that's not a lightning link, I sure hope they have their case put up a little bit more than that because I definitely want to raise them enough money to have Daniel Kelly there as a key witness. Oh, I talked to the GOA too. Well, not directly to... It doesn't matter because I don't know if he wants me to let out the information or not. But if he's only charged for the lightning link, it does look like the GOA is going to pick this one up because it should be a solid win for them. Once I know more and once his attorney, once we're able to communicate back and forth, I'm going to have his attorney set up a GoFundMe, and then I'm going to hold a fundraiser on here, and I'm going to try to get other creators to do it too, because I would assume anybody in the gun community at all will understand the implications of what would happen if he loses this case. So I suspect everybody will support him. Yeah, with the portable wall hanger, it's like, well, yeah, they can get away with saying that's easily convertible. This is not. They're trying to regulate an idea, a picture, a blueprint, which would make it more or less illegal to go on the internet and get anything. The implications are very far-reaching. If he actually wants to fight this, which I'm really hoping he does, it's very, very important for us to see to it he wins this case. Uh, 3D printing will be regulated at some point. Oh, yeah, most definitely, because that would be the next extension. A blueprint, you said it. Doesn't matter what I call it. I'm not his company, therefore they can't get intent off of me. One second, guys. People keep blowing my crap up. Hey, I'm doing a live stream, so don't say anything embarrassing. What's up? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's up? I'm on a live stream, though, so don't say anything embarrassing, because there's 666 people also listening to the phone call.
Oh, yeah. There was soda sent here to Coloma resale.
Oh, badass. That guy said he was going to do that. I didn't actually believe that.
Yeah, and then there's a armor plate or something.
Oh, for a vest?
What's his name? Sorry. Spidey or something like that? Yeah.
Oh, cool as hell. I got to find out if he wants me to destroy it or if I can keep it.
Okay, and then the other thing is I've got 2 more things from Palmetto. Did you order these?
What are they?
Okay, hold on. Oh, it says to Paul. Somebody in Montello.
Oh, no, that's not me. But all right, I'm going to let you go, though.
Okay, thanks for answering.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Sorry about that, guys, but that was, I got a whole bunch of calls, so I definitely had to answer that one. I got to get a book from Amazon. It's the ATF on the phone. Awesome live stream. Thanks, man. Going to be used the ITAR model again for 3D files. Oh, they might, because see, they were trying to hit us with ITAR 2 for a while. Like, I'm not a lawyer, obviously, so don't take legal advice from me. But so there was a period of time during Obama's administration where if I wanted to say manufacture a machine gun or sell a silencer, I had to be registered with ITAR. And that was insane because I have absolutely nothing to do with importation or exportation. But then Trump got into office and he fixed it, which you can go on the website and see it for yourself. I should probably check and make sure it didn't get switched back. But yeah, it would have turned your $575 a year to manufacture all the machine guns you want into like 2,000 and blah, 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 blah. It was ridiculous. But they might use ITAR again on that stuff because that makes it more or less impossible for anyone to function unless they're like some massive chain like Walmart or something, or they have enough foot traffic to where they're just moving product. Just go to my Instagram. Thanks for keeping us up to date. Well, I feel responsible because I was advertising his company because I really felt this was going to be something big. Like, not to mention he's a shield. All those questionable parts, those are shields to protect our normal stuff because they absorb time, money, and resources from the ATF, making it easier for us to hang on to our semi-autos just a little bit longer because now they have a court trial to go through, and it just helps plug up their system. Thompson submachine guns reliable, brother. I've never actually been on a Thompson. I want to really bad. ITAR is applied to manufacturing, not just NFA. I was a class 7. It was. ITAR was. But when Trump was in office, I think his second year, he changed ITAR. And now as long as you're not dealing with overseas stuff, you no longer have to register with ITAR. Now I called ITAR trying to double check to make sure that I was right, and they wouldn't tell me anything. They're like, well, you can register. I'm like, no, I want to know, do I have to register being a machine gun manufacturer? And they're like, well, we can't tell you that. I'm like, so do I not need to pay you the money? I need to know that. And they're like, well, the lady slipped. She's like, are you dealing with out-of-country stuff? I was like, no. Then she's like, you probably don't, but check with the gun lawyer. Hello, LOL, Thompson machine gun. You can have a full auto legal pre-86, but you can't have a picture of something that could be used, right? CRS Firearms, do you think more red states will become Second Amendment sanctuaries? Highly unlikely. I mean, it's possible, but I mean, even in Wisconsin, we're pretty pro-gun because, I mean, you look at Wisconsin, like if you went to Google Earth, besides like Milwaukee, Madison, Green Bay, and the Eau Claire area, Wisconsin is just empty area, just trees. So it makes no sense to have gun laws because who are you regulating? Yeah, maybe they could do like county gun laws for those areas, but it's not like other states where the population spread is across this whole state. We just have a couple little pockets of population and then it's just empty. And even then, we elected a blue governor, but he had promised everyone that he was going to bring legal marijuana. I knew as soon as he said that for his campaign, he was going to win because honestly, we're not going to win elections anymore unless our party or the pro-gun party starts talking about legal marijuana. Every time somebody runs against a pro-gun person and they talk about legal marijuana, they lose. So yeah, Ebert's won. So we have a blue person, not to mention voter fraud aside, whether it is or is not true, Wisconsin voted blue. So our little population centers way outnumber the whole rest of the entire state. Why don't you run? Because I have a really dark history, and if I ran for any seat in office, it would be an utter shit show. They would have so much fun just digging up crap. I mean, oh my God, like, oh. I don't have a clean history. They would bury me. Minnesota just became a concealed carry state. Nice. I'm in Wisconsin, Alpine Valley. That's where Ozfest is. First time I went to Alpine Valley, let me tell you. So I go there. I've never even heard of a beer bong before. And I'm with these two chicks, and there's these guys around a motorhome, and they're giving out beer bongs. I'm like, what is that? And they're like, it's a beer bong. I'm like, well, how do you drink it so fast? That's kind of cool. And they're like, well, when you just tip it back, you're not actually drinking it. It just runs directly into your stomach, so you don't have to swallow or anything. I'm like, that's really cool. I'm like, can I try it? And they're like, can we see your girl's tits? I'm like, ladies, flash them off. So they flashed them. So I go under the camper. I rip it open. I'm going. I'm like, man, feels like my stomach's going to burst soon. Like, how long is this going to take? And then I look up and there's 4 people pouring more into the funnel. Dude, that was crazy. I passed out upside down on the ski hill, like vomited that was a wild ride. My first Ozfest, that was just crazy. Nice. Me being a young teenager, you know what? I'm not even going to admit to breaking a law. But yeah, I've had crazy experiences always from Alpine Valley. Hey CRS, do you think M16 parts will be gone? Most likely, because that would just be an extension. So you can buy a real auto sear, a real M16 bolt carrier, a real M16 trigger right from Brownells, completely legal, because you don't have the intent to install them. It's not the part itself that's illegal. It's the intent to make a machine gun that's illegal. But with this auto key card thing, now they're trying to push it one step farther. They're trying to say the intent lands on the manufacturer. We very well may never be able to buy M16 parts again at some point in the future, because if they're going to put intent on the manufacturer, it really doesn't matter if I'm going to make a machine gun part or not. It's a machine gun part. Because it's worded, you got a combination of parts with the intent to make a machine gun. So it doesn't matter if that's one part, all the parts, or no parts. The only thing that's illegal is the intent to make it, which would fall onto you. That would be your intent. But if they're going to push it all the way back to the manufacturer, like, okay, so the people making the M16 Sears, we're going to go kick in their door one day for selling machine gun parts because the user has an intent to install them. Well, then, yeah, all your pre-86 machine guns, I don't even know if you're, because it's really weird when you repair them. Because, like, let's say I bought in, this is where it gets funky. So let's say I have a pre-86 machine gun, right? I buy an auto sear. Because I know it's going to go in my pre-86 machine gun, I have intent to install it. That auto sear is actually a machine gun part because it becomes a machine gun part once I have intent to install it. So it's I get a headache just thinking about it. So basically, yes, we will most likely have an end to them, and then you'll just be reduced to scoring auto sears and stuff like that from secondhand people. You won't be able to order them brand new. Again, I don't have a crystal ball. I could be 100% wrong. I'm just making educated guesses looking at what they've already done and the direction they're headed in. A SOT has a background that is a good for political. Clinic explained. Where are we here? I'm just going to jump down to the bottom of the comments. Everyone does stupid shit when they're young. Yeah, we all do stupid stuff when we're young. Sugar tits. Everyone else sell auto sears. Everywhere else sells auto sears. I'm reading this wrong. Yeah, you can. I don't think I understand the question fully, but I believe you're asking, do people sell auto sears? Yes, they have to. Otherwise, how would you replace your pre-86 machine guns? And if you don't have a pre-86 machine gun, then you don't have the intent to install it. Therefore, it can be sold to the general public. You can buy all the M16 parts you want. They are not machine gun parts until you have the intent to install them. So if your recording is Central Time in your life, you still get an FFL. So your record is... my record isn't that dirty. If you can buy a firearm, you can get an FFL. There's really not that much of a background check to getting an FFL. If you can buy a pistol, you can probably get an FFL. Can't be a felon, obviously. No, I never got caught up with a felony, thank God. You're very welcome. How do I get an FFL with a record? Well, it depends what record you got. If you can go buy a pistol, then you don't have a record. All that shit's irrelevant. If you can buy a pistol legally, then you don't have a dirty enough record to worry about you not getting an FFL. In which case, you're going to go to... Don't buy those stupid packages and stuff that tell you, like, the secret way of getting an FFL. Just send out for your application. If you have any questions, call your local ATF agent. They are free, and they're ultimately the ones that are going to approve it. Therefore, put down what they say, and they will sit on the phone forever. They're bored as shit. They ain't got shit to do. Nobody breaks gun laws. So call them up. Have them hold your hand while you go through it. Send it in with the proper money. And a couple of months later, you'll get an FFL. It's that simple. Oh, but you're going to need a couple other things too. You'll need your resale license. And obviously, the town will have to approve where the business is. So it'll probably have to be listed as commercial. Each town will be slightly different. So talk to your town board. Tell them you want to get in the firearms business and ask them what you would have to do to be able to sell firearms in their town. Do you still have an SOT? Do you have a brick and mortar building? I don't, but LLC does. The store itself isn't registered in any of our names. That's an LLC. That's its own entity. I know, FFL right out of their house. Yeah, a lot of people actually get FFLs out of their house. I've also been told a whole bunch of times that they don't want to do countertop FFLs anymore, but I still see people getting them. Shit, Mr. Guns and Gear, he's an 07 manufacturer SOT holder out of his house. Or at least I think that's his house, unless he has some separate business somewhere else. But when I was Googling it and being my weird stalker self, the Google map picture did show a house on a lake where the FFL was out of, so I'm assuming that's his. What's your take on binary triggers? Waste of money, good investment? Well, that's the problem. They haven't been grandfathering anything. So even though it's been legal for years to buy a bump stock and a binary trigger and stuff like that, you'd think if they decided to make it illegal, anything purchased before a specific date would be entered onto the registry. So you can't really look at that as an investment, because if they do, well, I mean, you could. It depends how you play your cards. If they do decide to make binary triggers illegal, the date they're illegal, they will all be illegal. But now if you can, like, if you hear they're going to be illegal and you immediately throw yours up for sale, you'll probably get almost $1,000 for it, because a bunch of people will be thinking, oh, I can buy this real quick. It'll be on the registry, and then I'll be able to buy a vacation house because it'll triple in price, because that's what everybody did with the bump stock. Right before they became illegal, they were selling for like $300 a piece. If I have access to a full auto, it would be just cost me more ammo, right? All you need for an FFL is an intent to make money. Yeah, you can't get an FFL for a hobby. You got to get it with the intent to sell firearms and make money. Gun shows, one. Make business hours. Gun shows count for one. Make business hours. Yeah, apparently this guy's saying, well, now the ATF told me that they weren't going to do P.O Box FFLs anymore, which meant like all I do is I go to gun shows and I have a P.O Box. That's what my business is registered under, is a P.O Box. CRS Firearms set up shop selling. Most shows would like suggest holding off on a O2 SOT until you had a shop that's open full time. Yeah, we're open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 6. Until no, I'd get your FFL as soon as possible. But if you're going to be switching locations, no, I had asked the agent about this. So I'm like, well, hey, this was way back in the beginning because we didn't know if the FFL was going to be profitable or not. If it was a total waste of money, I was just going to absorb it as myself. And he was explaining there is a process where you can move an FFL to a different location. I can't remember if he said you had to reapply or not. Or no, maybe we didn't have to reapply when we put it under an LLC. But I think switching locations, you have to reapply. So if you're going to actually get a brick and mortar building, you might want to wait. But you could probably just call the ATF office and be like, hey, I was thinking about getting my FFL now, and I'm ultimately going to go to this location. Will I have to reapply, or can I just do paperwork to change it over, or what exactly needs to happen? Other companies like Auto Keycard. I'm sure there's some companies floating around somewhere. They just didn't get as much traction. Other companies like Auto Keycard, Sammy, The Bull, and CRS Firearms, two of my favorite channels. Thanks, man. Congratulations on the 100,000. Thank you. Oh, my girl surprised me, too. She was actually bringing these down on my live stream, and I didn't know about it. If I would have just stayed live streaming a little bit longer because she was impatiently waiting for me to hit the 100K, I wish I would have waited just a couple minutes longer. Ooh, I got a super chat. Only 3 ATF agents dislike this video. CRS Firearms. Do you have to get an SOT to do a FFL 7? No. An SOT is only for your restricted items like silencer, machine gun, stuff like that. You can get an 07 and just manufacture firearms. Like we actually started off with an 07. And that's the idea. You're either going to manufacture firearms or ammunition. But we didn't because I knew I only wanted an 07 for silencers and machine guns. But now we're into that. But yeah, you can get your 07 ahead of time. Is a 16-inch, a 12-inch barrel a legal thing? Oh, that was just satire with the whole measuring and rifling thing. But that's what they look like through my eyes. Like, that's what I see. And I want to make a video of how the general public observes them. But I could totally see them doing that. Be like, okay, so now we're going to take barrel length measurements. We're only going to measure the rifling inside the barrel. That will be the barrel length. But no, that's not I hope to God that's not a real thing soon. I hope that never happens because that'll make like most guns illegal again. Joe Rogan died? Have you had any full autos in the shop? Not yet. I was going to manufacture a couple of them, but then the whole gun shortage thing happened and the ammo shortage thing happened. I'm like, well, shit. I mean, it's kind of pointless to manufacture a machine gun now because what the hell am I going to feed it with? We do move a lot of silencers, though. What the hell? You are giving them ideas? Ooh, we got a super chat, $20. Your message didn't show up, though. Sometimes, from what I understand, if you type the message too long, it won't show up. But thank you for the $20 super chat, man. I need to get a silencer since before they get banned. Yeah, I wonder what would happen. So, let's say they move the silencers on the restricted list. I wonder if those would get grandfathered in. Because, my God, then those little $100 well, I shouldn't say $100. $500 to $1,000 cans would become like 20 grand overnight. But if they don't grandfather them in, they're just like everybody needs to turn them in. Well, then that would suck. Opinion on painting your rifle. It's America, man. If you want to paint your rifle, paint that bitch up because we're Americans and we're supposed to be able to do what we want. So let's at least pretend like it. Your wife will be berating you? Any opinion about AK builds? If I was going to do an AK build, I would probably do a Romy G, just because I'm a purist and I want it as close to original as possible. And that's the closest one you can get because that was for the Romanian Guard, but they started off as full autos. Then they made them semi-autos for the Romanian Guard. So when you do a clone build of that, it's damn near exactly what it would have been like. Love the channel. Love the super chat. Thank you, man. Especially like the videos about what not to do in a gun store. Yeah, I had to make a response video to that because this original what not to do in a gun store was bad. It was the worst example of customer service I've seen in a long time. If you become an SOT or FFL, can the ATF raid you without cause? If so, why would you aim to become one? So if you're an FFL or SOT, they can come to your establishment once a year on a business day during business hours without notification. Anything past that, they have to get permission to come there first or give you a heads up notice. So they're not really raiding you. I mean, if they come there, they're probably going to be digging through your shit because they probably have a reason to. But they're allowed one visit a year. So, I mean, yeah, you could call that as a raid, but it's not any time. They won't be changing how they measure rifling for a long time. They get their way by taking things that FUDs don't cry about. Thank you for the super chat, and you're probably right. The whole rifling thing is satire, and it's probably an exaggeration of what the future could possibly look like. Give my wife a glue stick instead of chapstick. She hasn't talked. Thanks for the $5 super chat. That's hilarious. Have you had a customer wait much longer than 3 days? Oh, yeah. We've had customers go a week or so, especially when they got really backed up and they were just getting hammered with gun sales. The delay time was getting pretty extensive. Thank you for the $5 super chat, East Coast Kenny. Oh, Where are we gonna find you when they shut you up, shut you down, back up? You're in a man, bro. Well, if YouTube shuts me down, then I'll just build another channel. You'll have to wait till that channel gets popular enough to where I start showing up in your recommended thing. But honestly, if they shut me down for firearms, I'd probably do something different. I'll probably do something set up with my daughter, not firearm related. Is officially busted for his auto key card. Yes, he is officially busted. There is a post on the ATF's website now about it. Right here. So it's official. Did he only get busted for that? I don't know. I'm hoping that's the only reason he got busted for it, because then we'll get him a bunch of support and hopefully he'll win his case. But if there was other reasons, for whatever, you just don't know. So I got to wait to actually see the charges, and I got to talk to his lawyer, get a GoFundMe set up, and then we'll just do a big-ass fundraiser. Ever watch Dragon Man? I know that name, but I can't think of what channel his is. Dragon Man. Anyway, yeah, I've watched him before. I just can't remember what kind of videos he does. AK is cool. Yahoo! So those of us who just got here, what did he get arrested for? I don't actually know what he got arrested for, but we do know officially he did get arrested. Because there is an official post now on the ATF website about it. So I don't know if they've opened the indictment yet or not. I'm going to have somebody look into it again today. Because yesterday was actually the 72-hour mark. So that's when I started digging around. Because I know I shouldn't say that. Google said you have to be charged within 72 hours of getting locked up. And I assumed that meant they had to open the indictment. I've never been locked up long term, so I don't know the whole ins and outs of it. So I was just kind of guessing. But now that there's an actual post on the ATF website, I'm hoping the indictment's open, or we can at least find a public record of what he got charged with. If anybody does find that, send that to me privately, because then we can start making forward progress. Everything is intent. Dragon Man is a guy with the big gun shop. Oh, yeah! He's the one with the gun shop museum. I know who Dragon Man is. Thank you for the super chat. What's your suggestions for the cheapest suppressor for an M&P 1522? I'm running extremely limited budget at this point. Well, the only thing that's really, really important with a 22 long rifle is that you can, in fact, disassemble the silencer. You got to be able to clean all that lead and shit out of there. Other than that, like when you're talking about a 22 long rifle, they don't need much volume at all. I'd almost look at more like getting a 5.56 can that I can take apart and then shooting 22 long rifle and then doubling it up on a 5.56 rifle later. That's my opinion. So, I mean, you got to do with what you want. Another super chat. Woo! Love them super chats. What would you use for whitetail, 308 or 6.5 Creedmoor or 260? That's hard to pick because all those calibers are really, really, really good. I would probably go with a 308 just because that's like America. It's not measured in that gay little metric system. And I mean, you got the Remington 260, which is a 6.5 Creedmoor, just not the cut down version. .243, 6.5 Creedmoor, 308. They're all very capable. Like, very capable. Either one will serve you just fine. I doubt you would even notice the difference. I suspect unless I'm shooting like with way off the wall projectiles, like a 200 grain 308 and a 55 grain 243 and like some mid-range 6.5. Like if I'm just shooting with your standard hunting rounds of each of those, which would be like a 150 or a 168 for a 308, somewhere around a 90 grain with a 243, and probably like 143 grain with the 6.5, and they were all hunting projectiles. I shot 3 deer exactly the same space, exactly the same distance, exactly the same spot. I bet I could cut them open. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Because even when I was shooting deer with 6.8 SPC over 223, if I had shot both deer with those, like this one I shot with 223, this one I shot with 6.8, I'll be honest with you, when I cut them open, I couldn't tell the difference. I was expecting to cut it open with the 6.8 and to see all this massive devastation and just crazy. No, it just looked the same thing as like 223, same kind of damage, everything. Class 3 owners will be the first ones to I'm assuming you're talking about machine guns when you talk about class 3 owners. It's not actually like a class 3. I don't even know how to explain that. We'll just talk about machine guns. Will be the first ones to get rated. I mean, it's possible because you do have to keep. I think you're supposed to, if you move with your tax stamp, because the way your comment would really be written as tax stamp owners. So yes, your tax stamp owners, they do have to have their address down and everything. I mean, you're still protected by, what is it, the 8th Amendment, illegal search and seizure, but with red flag laws and everything, what does that really mean? Is there even an 8th Amendment anymore? That thing's been eroded away so back, but I mean, I could speculate, but I hate going over the doom and gloom stuff. I like to talk more about hope and happy things because I think it's better for our soul. I apologize, I didn't really have a good answer for your comment. Class 3 is the class of SOT that allows you to deal Title 2 items. Type 3 is an FFL. So what I got is a Class 2 07 or Type 7. I don't actually know what a Class 3 is. So I'm 02. That's Class 2. Title, or is it Title or Section 7? I think it's Title 7, which is manufacturing. And then I have an endorsement of an SOT. So it'd be 02, 07 SOT endorsement. Everyone should get their fingerprints. SOT prayer. Pair. I'm above the law. 03 is firearms and ammunition sales. Oh, I know, but I think he was trying to say that it's a Class 3 and not a Type 3. Because, yeah, a Type 3 is just your standard run-of-the-mill like Walmart would have. Oh, what kind of person would you have to be to swear an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution, then rob you of your constitutional rights? That is kind of crazy because last I knew, all federal jobs, maybe I'm wrong. I could be because I don't think I had to swear one when I was doing the post office. But yeah, if you swear an oath to uphold and protect the Constitution against I don't understand how they wouldn't be like, okay, so what are we doing today? Pull out their old constitutional book. Oh, no, man. Can't do that because that's against the Constitution. A Type 3 FFL is CNR licensed. Class 3 sounds like Men in Black. Just Googled it. Is an M16 arms manual a machine gun? I don't know, because an M16 arms manual is a far better description of a machine gun than an auto sear was of a lightning link. Okay, so a Class 3 is curios and relics. Or a Type 3. Class 3 is on of the Type 3 SOT. A Class 3 is on of... I actually got copies of my FFL on my phone. Let me check real quick because I don't ever remember seeing anything about type. Yeah, it just says get this in focus here. 07 manufacturing. I can't read it backwards, but other destructive devices. And then the SOT says I just tax 2021. I don't really see. Oh yeah, and all those people that try to convince you that it costs thousands of dollars to sell NFA items or make machine guns. Ooh, got some super chats. Where the hell are we here? Self-defense has some real cookbooks. They have every gun you could ever recommend. Thank you for the $5 super chat. But I think your message was actually to someone else. People keep maximizing the SOT level as with the type of arms that you can be sold. Oh, okay. That's starting to make a little sense. So it's not the SOT that has a type or a class on it. It's that kind of firearm. That kind of makes sense. Type 708 SOT is the way to go. Oh, I agree, because then you can do just about anything. The type of FFL is type 1, but the SOT comes in 3 classes. I did not know that. I did not know those 3 different classes with SOTs. That's why people say type 3 FFL. People get confused with class 3. But all right, we'll get a couple last questions in here. I'm going to unplug at 2:30 because I got to go pick up my daughter from school. So if you have any questions, hammer them in now. Didn't have much but love the channel. Don't have much but love the channel. Hey, man, still, the super chat, that's just awesome. Thank you. Especially if I know that you don't have a lot. Even if it's like a small one like that, that's cool as hell. Appreciate what caliber is best on whitetail. I use a Model 70, Weatherby 308. Often buy a Remington 360. Yeah, I mean, 260, you're talking about a 6.5 Creedmoor that's not cut down. If it's a good price, I'd go for it. Last call. Class 2 SOT, they're manufacturers. I'm in California. Move out of the state so I can experience my God-given rights. Right on, man. What does that card do? Are you talking about the auto key card? It doesn't do anything. It's just a novelty like this. He actually made beer bottle opener versions. All gun laws are unconstitutional. Preach on, preacher. So you can manufacture silencers, yes. Now, if I wanted to take, all right, so with the SOT, and because the shop is in an LLC, I can manufacture them and I can operate the SOT under, like, I guess you'd call it like the shop's not supervision, but as the shop. Now, if I wanted to manufacture a silencer and take it home, then no, I would manufacture it at the shop. I'd send it off, notify the ATF that I manufactured a silencer. They would come back and be like, okay, your silencer is now logged in. Then once it gets logged in, then I would do my paperwork, just like how you would if you were to buy a silencer. Then when my paperwork goes through, I get my tax stamp, then I can take it home. However, I could manufacture the machine gun as a shop and do a demonstration or something outside the shop, but I can't take it home and shove it under my bed, if that makes any sense. Articles coming out. Remember, go to a lawyer, not. Oh, what's up, John? Didn't recognize you at first. This is a cool dude right here. Article coming out. Remember, go to a lawyer, not to the ATF. 'Cause, 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 'cause not discreet to the ATF. Remember, go to a lawyer, not directly to the ATF. Remember, go to a lawyer and not directly to the ATF. Still willing to talk about solvent traps from China? Give me a call. $5 as a thanks for all the good content you've been cracking out. Thank you, man. The ATF wants you to contact them if you have one. Yeah, on their little website it says contact the ATF if you have one. This way they can try to talk you into getting yourself arrested. They'll try to get you to say you're breaking a law or something. Updates on the Tommy Bill T-36 situation? Nothing I know. But all right, it's 2:22. I'm going to shut her down, guys. Thanks for hopping in. Like I said, as I know more information, you'll know more information.